Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal 126 based on novel. So let's start. This illusion was the same as Wang Lin, its eyes were closed. As Wang Lin floated into the air, the five old men were completely stunned. They looked at the phantom behind Wang Lin and revealed very respectful expressions. It really is the ancestor. The ancestor has appeared. Could this person be the one the ancestor has been searching for all this time? The five of them looked at each other. At this moment, the red cloud began to descend like crazy. It no longer moved by inches and instead by tens of feet. 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet. In the blink of an eye, it pressed down 100 feet. Along with a series of rumbling sounds, not only did the entire Sky Demon City collapse, it now sank deep into the ground. Looking from above, Sky Demon City no longer existed. Dust couldn't even be kicked up because it was being pressed directly into the ground. A huge basin appeared where Sky Demon City was. It didn't end here. Countless cracks extended from the basin. Following the sounds of ground cracking, the basin continued to increase in depth. The descent of the red cloud and heavens might didn't end just yet. After the red cloud descended 100 feet, it didn't stop and continued to descend. From far away, this mass of red clouds looked like it could fall from the sky at any moment. As the red cloud continued to descend, bursts of thunder echoed through the sky. This fierce sound echoed around the world. The cracks on the ground spread like crazy. Following the sounds of cracking, the ground within 5 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 500 kilometers, 5,000 kilometers shattered into pieces. The shattered earth was immediately crushed into dust by the pressure. The bustling Sky Demon City was no longer there. Wang Lin floated in the air and was the center of the pressure from the heaven's might. His body remained motionless as if he had fallen asleep. Just at this moment, it was as if Wang Lin had awakened from his slumber. He suddenly opened his eyes, and as he did so, the ancient demon phantom behind him also opened its demonic eyes. At this moment, there seemed to be some mysterious power controlling his body. He slowly raised his right hand and pressed it against the red clouds. The ancient demon behind him also raised its giant right hand and pressed it toward the sky. If you looked clearly, it was not Wang Lin who moved first but the ancient demon who raised its right hand first. Tao destruction. The ancient demon and Wang Lin both opened their mouths, but the voice came from Wang Lin's mouth. Although those two words were light, at the moment they were said, a monstrous demonic energy burst forth from Wang Lin and the ancient demon. At the same time, Wang Lin's body charged at the red cloud in the sky like a sharp sword. The ancient demon behind him followed suit. The thunder from the red cloud was like the angry roar of the heavens. The red cloud continued to descend, and the distance between Wang Lin and the red cloud grew smaller and smaller. One palm, clouds shattered. When the palm from the ancient demon and the palm from Wang Lin landed on the red cloud, a powerful gust of wind suddenly appeared. The red cloud was like the raging sea as its angry roar echoed through the sky. Wang Lin's body suddenly descended from the sky until he landed on the ground. At the moment he landed, a huge fluctuation was sent out, and the 5,000 kilometers of shattered earth extended to 50,000 kilometers. The earth within 50,000 kilometers shattered. The ancient demon behind Wang Lin also landed on the ground the moment Wang Lin landed. However, its body seemed to have become a little blurry. The heaven's might was irreversible, and the ancient demons were the second kind of life form to defy the heavens and cultivate. They had faced divine retribution countless times, and their bodies recovered in an instant. The red cloud disappeared from the sky, but at the moment it disappeared, a ray of red light 100 feet long suddenly descended from the sky. This red light was far stronger than the divine retribution lightning from before. It was not even on the same level. However, the red light's target wasn't Wang Lin but the ancient demon phantom behind him. The ancient demon and Wang Lin both raised their heads and a demonic light suddenly burst out from the ancient demon's eyes. The scarlet heavenly light. It has been a long time since I savored its flavor. At the moment the red light descended, the ancient demon leaped into the air and devoured the red light. The red light entered the ancient demon's body and caused it to explode, but it quickly reformed itself. Collapse, reform, collapse, reform, collapse, and then reform. In just one short breath of time, the ancient demon collapsed 10,000 times and reformed 10,000 times. The ancient demon's large body was forced from floating in the air back onto the ground. Then a huge, circular shockwave began to spread with it as the center. The shockwave was over 100 feet tall and spread like a huge wave scouring the land. In an instant, it spread 5 kilometers and was still going. A series of rumbles echoed across the land as the ground within 5 kilometers shattered once more, creating a shockwave 10 times bigger. At this moment, everything within 50 kilometers was turned inside out and left in ruins. The red cloud had disappeared completely from the sky and returned to normal. The ancient demon let out a burp, then its eyes revealed exhaustion as it turned into green smoke and disappeared. "Come meet me at the Dragon Lake in 3 months." The ancient demon's voice wasn't sent to Wang Lin's ears but spread out to everyone. When the ancient demon disappeared, Wang Lin took a step forward and also disappeared. As the gentle breeze blew by, the 5 old men climbed out from the ruins and looked at each other. One of the old men shouted, "This damned divine retribution. Yun Dun, you brat, get over here. Yun Dun, get your ass over here. If you don't appear within 3 breaths of time, this old man will throw you inside the Dragon Lake and seal you there for 100 years. Once this old man began shouting, they all started shouting at the top of their lungs, releasing thunderous roars. A shadow quickly climbed out from the ruins. When that shadow heard the old men's shouting, he let out a wry smile before disappearing and reappearing on the square of the imperial city. The man quickly said, "Grandson Yun Dun greets 5 grandfather ancestors." This was the same young man that drank all night with Wang Lin. "You bastard, Sky Demon City is now gone. I give you 3 months of time to restore this place back to its original state, or else I'll throw you into the Dragon Lake and seal you there for 100 years, 200 years, 500 years, 1,000 years. The final old man softly snorted. "Lock him up for life." The young man's body trembled, then he wryly smiled and nodded. "5 ancestors can rest assured. Your grandson will definitely restore the ancient demon city in 3 months. Go find the person the ancestor has chosen and bring him to the Dragon Lake in 3 months. After the 5 old men finished speaking, they looked at the ruins and then disappeared. When Wang Lin reappeared, he was more than 5,000 kilometers away. He immediately spread out his divine sense before taking a deep breath, touching his bag of holding, and taking out a token. This token was used to enter that mysterious cave. With this object, he could enter the cave any time he wanted. Wang Lin created symbols according to the information left in the token. Then the token released a white light that surrounded Wang Lin and then he disappeared. He once more returned to the platforms connected by the revered dragons. As soon as he appeared, he rushed toward the cave. After the divine retribution was over, Wang Lin immediately noticed that his domain had reached its completion and was slowly fusing with his celestial spiritual energy. This discovery immediately shocked him. Ascendant's life and death trial. If there was one mistake, not only would all of his cultivation be wasted, his origin soul would collapse too. Although he didn't know if this would affect the ancient god body on the outside, he wasn't willing to risk it. Ascendant is a trial that must be completed at a very safe place to remove all external factors to ensure the greatest chance of success. This cave was undoubtedly the best place to reach the Ascendant stage. Wang Lin moved very fast as he passed by the platforms one by one before finally arriving outside the cave. In a flash, he stepped into the familiar cave. Wang Lin rushed directly at the pavilion where he found the wine jug. After arriving, he quickly sat down in the lotus position and took a deep breath before slapping his bag of holding. There weren't many celestial jades left in his bag. After all, he had used a lot of celestial jades against the divine retribution. Wang Lin shook the bag of holding and all of the celestial jades immediately flew out. The pavilion's floor was covered with celestial jades, forming a small mountain. A large amount of celestial jades spread out, then Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he took out something from his bag of holding. This was a red crystal the size of a fingernail. The moment this crystal appeared, even the surrounding celestial spiritual energy paused. It was as if time had stopped for a moment, and this crystal gave off a faint feeling of the heaven's might. Ascendant Crystal. This was gifted to me by Senior Ju Yi. If I succeed in reaching the Ascendant stage today, I'll never forget my debt to Senior in my life. Wang Lin took a deep breath and then swallowed the crystal in his hand. After doing all of this, he closed his eyes and immersed himself in the process of reaching the Ascendant stage as his domain and celestial spiritual energy fuse. Time slowly passed. Wang Lin's expression was still as calm as well water without any ripples. The surrounding celestial jades were consumed and turned to dust. He absorbed endless amounts of celestial spiritual energy into his body. When someone attempts to reach the Ascendant stage, an Ascendant crystal forms in their origin soul. It is like a heart, the heart of the origin soul. Ju Yi's Ascendant crystal was a second heart for Wang Lin. Just as Wang Lin was reaching the Ascendant stage, Sky Demon City began its quick recovery. A large amount of demon soldiers gathered from all over the Sky Demon country to rebuild Sky Demon City. In the Black Tower at the ancient battlefield that was an unknown distance away, two ghostly lights appeared in the helmet of the black armor that was at the top of the tower. Even the ancient demon appeared to help you withstand the divine retribution. Just absorbing you like this is a pity. But after missing this chance, I don't know how long I'll have to wait. Although the power of Ascendant isn't much, I can't let it go. The fusion of the domain and celestial spiritual energy is a burning process. The celestial spiritual energy is the fuel, and the domain refined by that flame turns into an Ascendant crystal. At the moment the Ascendant crystal is formed, you might feel like you have become nothing and your soul is wandering the heavens and earth. This feeling is extremely rare and it is called Ascendant enlightenment. Normally, the first thing cultivators on a cultivation planet do is use this moment of comprehension to pull their soul piece back from the cultivation planet crystal. Although the chance is only 50%, they must try. Wang Lin had already recovered his soul piece, so he obviously didn't need to do this. At this moment, all of the celestial jades in his bag had already been placed around him. The last bit of celestial spiritual energy had just been squeezed out from the jade before they turned to dust. There was no wind here, so the dust wasn't blown away and instead just gathered on the ground. A large amount of celestial spiritual energy entered Wang Lin's body through his pores and rapidly moved through his meridians. Then the celestial spiritual energy quickly gathered around his life and death domain in his origin soul. A self-refining process continued in Wang Lin's body. There was a firestorm raging inside Wang Lin as his body underwent earth-shattering changes. His origin soul was like a giant cocoon, his domain was the life inside the cocoon, and the celestial spiritual energy was the raging fire outside the cocoon. The stronger the flames, the more lively the cocoon became and the more the domain inside fused with the cocoon. The purpose of the fusion between the celestial spiritual energy and the domain was to eventually fuse the domain with the origin soul. From that point on, there would be no distinction between the domain and origin soul. The origin soul was the domain and the domain was the origin soul. The fire burned even stronger outside the cocoon. Whenever the flame seemed to weaken, even more celestial spiritual energy would surge in from the outside. It was like adding dry gas to a flame, causing it to burn even stronger. This celestial flame burned brightly inside Wang Lin's body. The flame was invisible and therefore not visible to the naked eye. However, if one were to use their divine sense, they would see the scene of Wang Lin emitting an amazing flame from his body. Seek Tao in the morning and die by night is something every ascendant cultivator knows, and it has a lot to do with this flame. If one can't get past this trial, then this flame will go from ethereal to real and will burn the origin soul and body to dust in an instant. The origin cocoon inside the flame became even more alive, and the life and death scroll inside the cocoon was also changing. It seemed like it was about to melt and fuse with the cocoon. Time slowly passed, and the celestial flame didn't weaken at all. As more and more celestial spiritual energy was injected into the flame, it burned even brighter. The domain inside the cocoon completely melted into a mass of chaotic energy. This energy was called origin energy in ancient times. During ancient times, there were no cultivators. The cultivators back then called themselves energy refiners. The powerful Kunlu energy refiners were the typical example of ancient cultivators. They called themselves energy refiners because of the energy in origin energy and because their cultivation was focused on origin energy. This strand of origin energy was formed from Wang Lin's domain. The origin energy was being nourished by the cocoon, and like a baby still in the mother's womb, the origin energy continued to grow stronger. In ancient times, this origin energy wouldn't be left inside the origin soul. Instead, it would be extracted and would replace all of the celestial spiritual energy in the body. However, after the celestial realm suddenly appeared out of the void, cultivators became celestials and sought immortality, so they started using this origin energy as their life energy. They surrounded themselves with celestial spiritual energy, and that was how some cultivators and celestials wouldn't die as long as they had a sliver of true energy left. That sliver of true energy was this origin energy. The invisible flame inside Wang Lin became even more intense. The origin energy inside the origin soul cocoon condensed until it turned into a liquid-like substance. It was crystal clear and took various shapes. However, this liquid couldn't crystallize. If it couldn't crystallize, then it couldn't form the ascendant crystal. Wang Lin's conscience was wide awake. After trying many times and failing, he took a deep breath. At this moment, the celestial jades around his body exploded, releasing all of their celestial spiritual energy. The celestial spiritual energy moved like smoke as it all rapidly entered Wang Lin's body through his nose. The moment the last of the celestial spiritual energy from the celestial jades entered Wang Lin's body, the invisible flame burned several times stronger than before. In an instant, it was as if there were celestial flames coming out of Wang Lin's mouth and nose. A large amount of sweat began to come out from his body, but at the moment the sweat appeared, it would evaporate into white gas. The white gas above Wang Lin's head gradually grew more dense. The celestial flame in Wang Lin's body burned like it never burned before as it rushed at the origin soul cocoon. The origin energy liquid finally began to show signs of crystallizing after being refined by this flame. At the moment it was about to crystallize, it suddenly trembled. This tremble was completely silent, but it immediately caused the origin soul cocoon to move. The movement of the origin soul immediately caused the celestial flame to change. Instead of refining, it began to spread. The invisible flame in Wang Lin's body began to turn into real flame, and he was about to fail his attempt at reaching the ascendant stage. But just at this moment, the ascendant crystal that Juyi gifted him, which he devoured earlier, came out from his dantian and fused with the celestial flame. Not only could the celestial flame not affect it at all, but when it got close, the celestial flame dimmed as if this object could extinguish it. Juyi's ascendant crystal arrived next to the origin soul cocoon and entered it without any obstruction. It appeared next to Wang Lin's ascendant crystal. The two ascendant crystals, one representing life and death, while the other represented obsession. Juyi's ascendant crystal circled Wang Lin's ascendant crystal once before collapsing. At the moment it collapsed, all of the origin crystals inside it were absorbed by Wang Lin's ascendant crystal. Wang Lin's ascendant crystal grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. It grew like crazy from the initial fingernail size until it was the size of his pinky. At this moment, the origin soul cocoon no longer moved and the celestial flame stopped becoming real. Although all of this seems very simple, that was a moment of life and death. After absorbing the origin energy from Juyi's ascendant crystal, Wang Lin's ascendant crystal took shape. At that moment, the origin soul cocoon quickly shrank. It was now wrapped around the ascendant crystal. A new aura was slowly forming inside the origin soul cocoon. This process lasted for a very long time. Wang Lin sat in the lotus position inside that cave. He was motionless. It was as if he had always been there. On the outside, time quickly passed by. In the Sky Demon country, Sky Demon City had already been rebuilt 10 years ago. Its size and scope was the same as it was before. The Imperial Palace still stood, and the large square was back too. The giant demon drum was still on the square. 10 years of time flashed by in an instant. The residents of Sky Demon City dodged the catastrophe 10 years ago, but what they saw would be something they would never forget in their lives. The rumor of a cultivator named Wang Lin was still spreading across Sky Demon City. The boat was no longer there, and even the people from the boat were gone. There was no longer anyone playing the zither. The young man that once drank with Wang Lin was currently standing above a pavilion in the imperial palace. Beside him was a girl. She was very beautiful, but there was a mischievous expression on her face. If Shu Ligua were here and he saw the girl, he would be drooling and would then pounce at her while shouting, "Little beauty, your big brother Shu is back." That young man let out a sigh and muttered, "Strange. It has been 10 years since that little guy disappeared. Even with the 5 ancestors working together to check with their divine senses, they can't find a trace of him. It is as if he left this demon spirit land." The capital of Sky Demon City. After the city was rebuilt, there was a very glorious mansion built on the east side. This mansion had a giant plague with 6 large characters, Earth Vice Commander-in-Chief's mansion. There were countless servants inside the mansion, and there were fake mountains everywhere, making it very elegant. A burly man wearing a commander-in-chief robe was standing next to one of the fake mountains in the yard. He looked up into the sky and let out a sigh. Behind the burly man stood 3 men. These 3 men were all wearing the armor of demon generals, and they all stood there motionlessly and had very respectful attitudes. "Brother Wang, where did you go?" The burly man let out a long sigh. Inside the cave, Wang Lin hadn't moved at all in these 10 years. He still sat there as if he was a statue. In his body, the refining inside the origin soul cocoon slowly ended and a shocking aura slowly spread out from the cocoon. After an unknown amount of time, a crack suddenly appeared on the origin soul cocoon. This crack was very thin and the cocoon gently split. Shortly after, another crack appeared, and soon more cracks appeared across the cocoon. Even more cracks appeared all over the cocoon until it finally shattered. The moment it shattered, rays of grey light came out from within. Then a newly born origin soul slowly floated out from the cocoon. This origin soul was no longer transparent but completely solid. There was almost no difference between it and the flesh. The ascendant crystal was slowly turning inside the origin soul. For an ascendant cultivator, their origin soul is their domain. This is the true state of a domain after it enters the body. After the origin soul flew out, the shattered cocoon immediately melted into nourishment specifically for the origin soul and was absorbed by the origin soul. Once all of it was absorbed, the origin soul sat down in the lotus position. At the moment his origin soul sat down, Wang Lin's body trembled, and for the first time in 10 years, he opened his eyes. Wang Lin muttered to himself, "Ascendant." Then his eyes lit up brighter than ever before. After 700 years of cultivation, he finally achieved the ascendant stage. Ascendant cultivators were top-tier existences in any rank 6 cultivation countries. Even in rank 7 cultivation countries, ascendant cultivators were still considered powerhouses. Wang Lin was in ascendant enlightenment for 10 years and had other harvests as well. At this moment in the Black Tower located in the ancient battleground, 2 ghostly lights suddenly lit up inside the helmet on the top floor of the tower. He has just reached the ascendant stage, so his origin energy hasn't completely fused with his body yet. It will take him 49 days to complete this process, and this window is something I have waited 10 years for. The ghostly light inside the armor flashed and then thundering roars came from outside the Black Tower. At this moment, a giant, black vortex suddenly appeared in the sky. This vortex was too large. When it spun, it was as if it could absorb everything in the world. The sky changed color and even the countless souls in the ancient battleground began to tremble. The ghostly light from the tower shined brightly as a powerful divine sense spread out from the tower and quickly covered the entire ancient battleground. The ground at some parts of the battleground loosened and soon several black bones flew out from underground into the air. These small bones quickly fused in the sky and formed a black bone arm. The black bone arm slowly flew toward the tower and stopped below the vortex. I haven't gathered much power, so I can't casually waste it. Also, his current location is one of the places I don't wish to go. The ghostly light from the armor flashed again and one arm from the armor broke off. It gave off a burst of demonic flame before flying out of the tower and straight toward the bone arm. The moment the armor touched the withered arm, it immediately attached itself to it. The moment the armor was attached, The arm became completely different than before as powerful bursts of demonic spiritual energy filled it. Go, bring back the origin energy. The arm trembled before disappearing into the vortex. Only ascendant cultivators have origin energy inside their bodies. Too bad I'm too seriously injured to pull the origin energy out of cultivators who have already integrated the origin energy into their body from this far away. I can only choose to attack those who just made a breakthrough to steal their origin energy. The ghostly light from the armor that was now missing an arm guard gradually dimmed until it finally went out. Wang Lin was sitting in the lotus position inside the cave. He let out a breath of foul air and stood up. He had been sitting there for 10 years, so there were a lot of popping sounds before his body returned to normal. After he loosened his body, his expression suddenly changed and he looked up into the ceiling of the celestial cave. At this moment, a black vortex silently appeared. This is, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. He had been in this cave for a very long time and had never seen this vortex before. The timing of this vortex was too good. It appeared right after he reached the ascendant stage. Wang Lin had a cautious nature, so when he saw the vortex appear, he immediately dashed for the gate of the cave. Just as he moved, the vortex suddenly sped up and thus increased its size. Wang Lin's eyes became cold as he slapped his bag of holding and without any hesitation took out the cave token. His hand formed a seal, and soon his body became faint and was about to disappear. At this moment, a black bone arm wearing armor came out from the vortex and viciously swiped at Wang Lin. This swipe caused Wang Lin's disappearing figure to tremble, but then he instantly disappeared. The black bone arm paused for a moment before going back into the vortex, and the vortex disappeared. There was a distortion in the sky above an endless plain in the fire demon country, and Wang Lin stepped out of it. His expression was gloomy. Anyone who came across such a strange scene right as they reached the ascendant stage wouldn't feel happy. At the moment he used the token to teleport away, the arm interfered with the teleportation and caused a change. He spread out his divine sense and found that this place was completely foreign to him. Just at this moment, a black dot appeared in the sky. This black dot spun at an unimaginable speed and in almost an instant turned into that giant vortex. The vortex appeared in complete silence. Even divine sense wasn't able to detect its appearance ahead of time. It was as if there was nowhere the vortex didn't exist. Wang Lin's expression was gloomy as he stared at the vortex. This time he didn't run. He wanted to see how much power that arm inside the vortex had. Almost at the moment the vortex appeared, the armored bone arm came out and reached toward Wang Lin. No wind or clouds moved with this grab. There were no fluctuations showing signs of spells being used. This grab was almost as if a mortal was waving his arm. Wang Lin frowned slightly, then he raised his right hand and for the first time he used the finger of death at the ascendant stage. The black light was 10 times larger than before, and there were rings of ripples inside it. The black light charged out like thunder and landed on the bone arm. At this moment, an astonishing amount of demonic spiritual energy came out from the armor. This demonic spiritual energy was also solid and immediately blocked the finger of death. However, the demonic spiritual energy underestimated Wang Lin's finger of death. Perhaps if Wang Lin wasn't at the ascendant stage, then the finger of death would immediately have shattered when facing this demonic spiritual energy, but now Wang Lin was using ascendant level cultivation to activate the finger of death. Although the black light was stopped, the death energy within couldn't be stopped. At the moment the demonic spiritual energy and death energy collided, the demonic spiritual energy dissipated as if it had been absorbed by the death energy. All of this happened in an instant. Just as Wang Lin sent out the finger of death, he immediately noticed an invisible force coming at him. This force was like a gentle wind, but at the moment it landed on his body, his expression changed greatly. He immediately noticed that his newly formed ascendant origin soul was about to be blown away with this wind-like invisible force. Even his mind wasn't able to resist at all, and even his right hand slowly lowered. His origin soul gradually drifted from his body and was about to leave. But when a sleepy feeling appeared inside his body, Wang Lin's eyes became cold. Because his origin soul was about to leave his body had stiffened and he was rapidly losing consciousness. At this moment, he didn't panic and instead became filled with killing intent. He was Wang Lin. He even dared to defy the heavens, he dared to even kill the heavens, so how could he be bewitched by this mere spell? Wang Lin had a heart of slaughter, and at this moment, his heart of slaughter and his killing intent collided, resulting in a powerful slaughter aura. A low roar came from his mouth, and monstrous slaughter aura came out from his eyes. Under the power of this slaughter aura, his origin soul that was already halfway out of his body was forced back in. After his origin soul returned, Wang Lin coldly looked at the arm. No matter who you are, don't mess with me. Wang Lin took a step back, and at the same time, he used several teleport spells at once. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared. The bone arm wasn't scary at all. What was scary was that wrist guard. The finger of death Wang Lin used to scout the situation allowed him to see through the wrist guard. There were many mysterious people in the demon spirit land. Wang Lin had just reached the ascendant stage and he required a few days for his origin soul to completely fuse, so he didn't want to get into too much trouble right now. At the moment Wang Lin left, a soft exclamation came from the Black Tower in the ancient battleground. No wonder he is a heaven-defying cultivator. He was able to forcibly resist my heavenly demon wind with his heart of slaughter. But the better you perform, the more interested I am in your origin energy. In the demon spirit land, those people that cultivate the way of the ancient demon can't form origin energy. Origin energy only appears when you cultivators reach the ascendant stage. In these countless years, almost every cultivator who reached the ascendant in this demon spirit land had their origin energy devoured by me. You will be no exception. Wang Lin reappeared after teleporting. This place was a desolate area without any mountains or water. There were only withered trees everywhere. However, his eyes immediately narrowed as he noticed some restrictions in the distance. What the hell was that arm? Wang Lin frowned as he flew toward the restrictions in the distance. Soon he arrived at the place the restrictions were located. This place was even more desolate than the one before. The ground here was filled with cracks due to how dry it was, and there was nothing abnormal about this place. The restrictions protecting this place weren't intricate, but they won in terms of quality. There was no less than 1,000 restrictions here, and they were all interlinked, so activating one of the restrictions meant activating them all. Although it was rough, it was still effective. Even a demon general would find it difficult to enter by force. Even if they could, it would take time to do so. Wang Lin spread out his divine sense. With his cultivation and knowledge of restrictions, these restrictions didn't interest him. He was not interested in what was inside and was about to leave when the black vortex suddenly appeared, causing Wang Lin's eyes to narrow. It's like a ghost haunting me. Wang Lin's eyebrows furrowed hard and his eyes became even colder. This black vortex kept appearing before him, and this made a hint of killing intent appear inside Wang Lin's heart. He let out a cold snort and quickly sank directly into the countless restrictions. With Wang Lin's understanding of restrictions, he could break restrictions at the same level as the ones inside the celestial cave, so the restrictions before him presented no challenge. With just a glance, countless deductions flashed through his eyes. Then his body quickly disappeared into the restrictions. The function of these restrictions, aside from preventing outsiders from entering, was also to create illusions to hide what was inside. However, Wang Lin had broken countless restrictions, so he was able to easily move through them without activating them. After going through the restrictions, the scene before him became vastly different from what he saw outside. This place was still a plain, but it had been artificially divided into plots of land and emitted a strange fragrance. Hey! Wang Lin was surprised, as he wasn't expecting something like this. What was more surprising was there was only one thing being grown here. Celestial Ascension fruit. Wang Lin's expression became a bit strange. At this moment, the surrounding restrictions began to collapse as the black bone forced itself through the countless restrictions and reached in. This video will end here.